Fields, I'm Dan Avington alongside John Steppe. John, this is going to be an exciting one.
It will. Dan, I can already tell you're like a kid at Christmas.
Oh, I am.
Lacrosse season is back at Valley Fields.
So Marquette comes in 1-0 on the year, coming off a stunning overtime victory last week against the Cleveland State Vikings. In overtime, Chris Kirshner was the hero, a freshman in the golden goal. And Steppe, it was not an ideal start to the year for Marquette, but they got a win, and that's all that matters.
No, and that really is. A win is a win. Coach Stimmel was talking a lot about the challenges of playing against a team that will bring their goalie out of the crease as often as Cleveland State does. And Marquette survived. They got past it 1-0, and there they are getting ready today.
So today, Thomas Washington and JT Simonton taking the first face-off. Starters today for Marquette, Ryan Fazio, Holden Patterson, and Devin Cowan at attack. The defense, Zach Granger, PJ Cox, and Mason Woodward. It's Luke Anderson and Moe Lardy on the wings for the Golden Eagles here during the face-off. Trent Thomas and John Robbins for the Knights. Marquette wearing their whites with the blue lids. And it's going to be a violation against Thomas Washington. And Bellarmine will start with it first.
Not the start he was looking for. So far this season, 9 for 23 before this. Now 9 for 24 on faceoffs.
So it'll be the Bellarmine Knights starting it out here, wearing their maroon uniforms. Bellarmine 0-1 on the year after a loss to Utah last week. It's a tough Utah program. Not a terrible loss, but Bellarmine's got a lot to fix. They've got it back at X. Coming around, Granger on the D. Up to Benny O'Rourke. O'Rourke gets it back. He's defended by Hallam, the short stick. They're going to go at him. O'Rourke going left, comes back. Shoots it. It's blocked, and Holzman makes the save. So Marquette going to clear it.
And a nice overall defensive effort right away. It wasn't much work there for Holzman. That's what you're looking for if you're the Marquette defensive unit there.
Luke Anderson pushing transition. He shoots. He's got backup. Marquette going to make some substitutions. First midfield line, it's Peter Henkhaus, Connor McClelland, and Garrett Moya. Moya listed as an attackman, but he's playing in the midfield. Marquette, a young offensive group. Moya, just a redshirt sophomore.
And really somebody that's had to work his way back after that major knee injury freshman year. Relying on a lot of players that haven't necessarily been in these roles before.
Patterson, only a sophomore. Cowan, a freshman. And they're two of the leading scorers on this team. Cowan with a huge week last week, leading the team in goals. And Cowan turns it over. Great defense by Brendan Finnell.
Already, Cowan being in a lot of big spots like this. Quite the way to start your overall lacrosse career. And Stimmel was talking about how really Cowan is a guy that's been making plays since he showed up on campus.
The Knights have it back at X, and they work it up top. Anthony Corsell wearing number 0 for Marquette today. Second string LSM behind Moe Lardy. Whiteford going to the crease. He has it poked away. Anderson trying to come up with it.
Great cause turnover there.
Ball's in front of the net. Team's fighting for it. Logan Crines finally comes up with it. No harm, no foul.
Crines
Corsell.
Really from an athletic family. One brother at Penn, another at Penn State.
Marquette pushing transition. Fazio. Now back to Patterson at X. They've got Orsini. It's Orsini, Kirshner, and Stegman. That's the second midfield group. 2 freshmen and a junior. Fazio looking around. They get up to Stegman at the top. Kirshner, who scored last week's golden goal in overtime. Kirshner coming down. Save made. J.C. Higginbotham.
Nice aggressive shot early on. Didn't work out this time, but look to see him continue to be aggressive throughout this one.
Mason Woodward, beautiful defense. PJ Cox comes up with the turnover. Woodward was all over him.
And I'm not sure if there's anybody that Coach Stimmel talked about more in our pregame meetings than the emergence of Mason Woodward. Really somebody he's been able to rely on through just his first 2 collegiate games.
8 ground balls, 3 caused turnovers last week. He was named to the USILA All-American team for the first week of his collegiate career.
And Stimmel is saying how he doesn't look at him like a freshman. He looks at him like a really good lacrosse player.
Cowan has it, initiating. He gets doubled. Now he gets quadrupled as he goes to the ground. Ground ball being scrapped for.
Great defense here by Bellarmine.
And Marquette finally comes up with it. They've got numbers. Holden Patterson, big lefty rip. He scores.
That did not take long for him to get on the board.
Holden Patterson had numbers, unsettled offense. That's the key to winning a lacrosse game.
And Stimmel is really talking about how he's a guy that needs to step up and be vocal. Not a bad way for him to start first home game of his sophomore season.
Holden Patterson, the sophomore attackman, scores his 3rd goal of the year. He's got a huge left hand. And that time, he showcased it. Scored back-to-back goals last week when Marquette was down. Brought his team back into the game, and today he puts them on the board first. 1-0, 10:54 to go. And Patterson notches his first. Another face-off for Washington. He gets the clamp, and he's coming down. Washington has some numbers. He shoots, scores!
Man, you blink and you miss a Marquette goal right now.
Thomas Washington, first goal of his collegiate career. He's not just a face-off guy. He's a face-off athlete.
And when Coach Amplo is looking for a face-off guy, he had to choose between whether to get Washington or get a transfer. He took Washington. Right now, that decision is looking pretty good.
It certainly is, as Thomas Washington puts MU up 2-0. They're going to switch it up at the X now. It's Lucas Clark instead of JT Simonton.
You could see why after that last play.
Washington controlled the clamp, picked up the ground ball, and won the matchup. Washington pushes this one back. Luke Anderson in pursuit. He gets to it.
Quite the 45-second sequence there for Washington.
And Anderson brings it over the midfield line. Got to make a play with it. He does. Stegman now in an attack for Marquette. First midfield line with Stegman, Cowan, and Fazio out there. McClelland to Hankhouse. Stegman has it up top. The only Illinois native on the roster.
And really, that's part of the fact that lacrosse is slowly building here in the Midwest, something that Marquette's looking to capitalize on down the road.
Moya has it at the top. Going left, gives it up for Stegman. Stegman inside to McClelland, shoots and scores.
Veteran leader doing things that veteran leaders are supposed to do right there.
Wow. Beautiful pass inside from Jake Stegman. Connor McClelland in the perfect spot to turn and fire one in. The Canadian lefty uses box lacrosse skills right there. Bellarmine needs a timeout.
And the difference in body language here between those two teams going into this timeout, Bellarmine looks shell-shocked here. What happened? Already a 3-0 lead for the Golden Eagles.
Can't really blame them for being shell-shocked.
I would be too.
After they played great defense on their first possession, and then they forced a ground ball. Marquette wins it. Unsettled offense. Holden Patterson rips one in. Thomas Washington comes right down and scores. And then in the midfield offense, beautiful pass to Connor McClelland. Wow, beautiful, beautiful offense right there for Marquette throughout that whole sequence. And they dominated the ball the whole time.
And don't forget the fact that there was also the other shot on goal. Didn't go in. A great save there by Higginbotham. This could have almost been a 4-0 game, too.
Absolutely. So suddenly Marquette jumps out to a 3-0 lead. After last week, they struggled in the first half. They got the first goal, but after that, they were outscored 4-0 in the second quarter. And they had to suddenly come back in that second half, thanks to goals from Hankhouse, Patterson, Cowan, and a lot of guys contribute before Kirshner finally won the game.
I'm sure Stimmel does not mind the fact that the team doesn't have to dig out of a hole.
You will absolutely take it.
It's not easy to play games when you fall behind 6-3.
So it'll be Washington back out there. It's Corsell and Anderson on the wings. Harrison Pate and John Robbins. For Bellarmine. T-Wash wins this one. Corsell controls the ground ball, and they work it back. Gonna have to clear now.
Great play there by Corsell to keep possession.
That was a smooth ground ball. Woodward comes off. They've got Kirshner. He gets it over the midfield line and works it ahead. So Marquette clears it. Corsell comes off. Stegman going on. Patterson being hounded by Franceschini. And now they get it up to Orsini. Fumbles it, but he gets it back. Now to Kirshner.
And you're already seeing Marquette doing a much better job of clearing it today compared to last week.
Bellarmine doesn't ride nearly as much as Cleveland State does.
And that is a big reason why.
Cleveland State, the best riding team in the country last year, as Orsini gets a big rip. Missed it, but Cowan's there to back it up. 9:05 left in the first quarter. Devin Cowan controls. He's got Finnell. Cowan.
A 6-1 shot advantage for Marquette right now.
Patterson shoots, he scores. Holden Patterson goes top corner.
He's having a day right now.
Marquette up 4-0 early. 8:55 to go in the first quarter. Holden Patterson already has 2 goals. McClellan with a goal and an assist. And Thomas Washington has the other one.
Is there anything that Holden Patterson can't do right now? Already 2 goals, still 8:55 to go in the first quarter.
You can see why he started the minute he got to campus.
And you're seeing that experience starting as a freshman, starting to pay off, another year of development.
It's a young Marquette team, but they certainly have a lot of talent. Washington called for a hold. And it's going to be the first possession for Bellarmine in a while.
Feels like we've been looking to our left.
Pretty much constantly.
Yeah.
Morgan Macco has it. Senior captain. Now they get it up top. Max Krzyzewski defending the short stick. Now Woodward hounding. And this one's going to be over and back. Cowan gets it. Should have had a quick restart. Fazio giving it up for Hallam. Jacob Hallam shoots, bouncer. Patterson backs it up. Good chance for Hallam, though.
Cool story about Hallam. He, with his high school teammates, started a nonprofit for disabled kids to play lacrosse called Unified Lacrosse.
From Cherry Creek High School in Colorado. Big lacrosse factory. Hallam was injured a lot last year, but he's come back stronger than ever this season. McClellan takes the loose pass.
Nice pickup there.
Moya, a different midfielder than the rest of his team. He's strong, and he's able to use his body, unlike a lot of the quick guys that Marquette has. Hankhouse tosses that one way wide.
You could tell he just thought that McClellan would be a little farther out. He wasn't. And there's a turnover.
He thought McClellan was going back out instead of cutting back inside. Marquette up in the ride. I got this one up to Whiteford, and they easily clear it. Nobody was marking him.
That makes things a little easier.
A little bit. When one guy has nobody on him.
You could tell the Marquette coaching staff wasn't super thrilled with that.
Can't blame them. When you have all the attackmen up in the ride and one person gets open right behind you, as Bellarmine tosses it away badly. That one wasn't near anybody. Marquette's going to have possession again.
I think that one might have landed at the other side of the river at that rate.
One landed in the Menominee River next to us. Woodward has it, gives it up to Luke Anderson, gets doubled. Anderson trying to split it. Gets it stripped, and it's picked up by Bryce Vaxman.
Nice
Crines
defensive
comes up with the
effort
ground
there
ball,
by Mason Woodward.
Now Crines gets it over. Good ground ball by Logan Crines after a bit of a potentially dangerous situation for Marquette.
Yes.
But Crines and Anderson, the short sticks, able to make a difference.
It looked like Woodward was going to be able to get that a little sooner. Didn't quite work, but they were there.
Stegman dodging. Gives it to Patterson. He gets bodied. That's Bryce Vaxman, junior LSM. That's got Patterson right now. Up to Kirshner. Kirshner inside for Patterson. Blocked.
Good marking here by Bellarmine.
I don't know who even blocked that. That's going to be an over the back against Marquette. Against a Landon Trout, junior attackman.
One of the players that really Stimmel, actually the player that
The only
Stimmel
player.
singled out. Did not mention anybody else except for Landon Trout. Called him a very good player. Somebody that Marquette will have to keep an eye on.
2 goals and 2 assists last game. Let's see if he can get any more. Granger defending the player coming from X. That's Legnard. Give it up to Mako. Marquette slid there. O'Rourke draws the slide. Moe Lardy forces him out. Bowie throws it to Mako. This ball going to the corner, and it's a turnover.
Pass is not quite on point here for Bellarmine, and it's costing them big so far.
Yeah, they've been having a lot of turnovers, unforced turnovers, and that's something that can happen if you're going to beat a team when you're already down 4-0. Under 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Zach Granger gives it up to Petey Henkhaus. Henkhaus splits the double, and he'll bring it down. He's got pressure.
Almost untouched for a stretch there. Now a little more closely marked.
Henkhaus gives it up to McClelland, and Patterson going to slow things down a little bit. McClelland played for the Brampton Excelsiors of Major Series Lacrosse, a box lacrosse league in Canada this summer. Certainly improved his skills as a two-way midi. Patterson up for Kirshner. Kirshner going left. He shoots. Bottom corner. It's a goal for Chris Kirshner.
What a great job here for the freshman from Flemington, New Jersey. Getting on the board as well. Topping off already a very solid debut last week with already what looks like another strong performance today.
It was a great performance from Kirshner last week when it was overtime and he brought the ball over the midfield. He noticed that they were in the 10-man ride. Bench yelled empty, referring to the empty goal in front of him. And he shot it, and it went in. Gutsy play for a freshman to make.
Many freshmen would be making.
It was a really bold decision, and it worked out in his favor as he found the nylon and gave his team their first victory of the season.
There are a lot of veteran players that would not have made that shot.
Jared Hirschman now out at the X for Marquette instead of Washington. Hirschman was last year's starting faceoff guy.
And selected in 2018 to the Puerto Rico national team.
Hirschman called for a violation there. He didn't really think he did anything wrong, but Jake Richard, assistant coach, now explaining.
A very animated explanation at that. Bellarmine bench not really thrilled with the officiating
what happened
here.
There, but they have the ball anyway. Benny O'Rourke being defended by Corsell has to pull it back out. Over to Bowie. He's got Anderson. Bowie going to try to exploit the short stick matchup. Marquette's defense scrambling a little bit, but they get back. Trout has Woodward. Mako defended by P.J. Cox.
Bellarmine's still looking for a shot on goal today.
Braden Brown heading inside. Gives it to Legnard at X, and now over to Mako. Mako going inside. He drew the slide from Corsell. Somebody's open. Up top, shot, saved by John Holzman. Corsell picks up the ground ball. He's getting shoved, has to toss it. Granger picks up the ground ball, or does he?
Wasn't the smoothest one,
No.
but
Marquette only has
in the
10
long
seconds.
run it works.
10 seconds to get it over. Anderson gets it over and gives it up to Connor McClelland. Good clear by Marquette.
Maybe
Never mind. Not a clear. Not a good clear from
I was going
Marquette.
to say, I was a little close for comfort, I'm sure.
Woodward comes up with the ground ball. Up to McClellan. They've got numbers. Marquette has their offensive personnel on. Logan Crines coming up, shoots. He scores. Logan Crines, the short stick D midi, notches his first goal of the year. It is 6-0.
This is becoming an onslaught.
Wow. Marquette took advantage of the unsettled situation. Logan Crines, the short stick D midi, who certainly got some offensive skills, comes up, bounces one in.
And you have to think so much of this is going down to the fact that Bellarmine really hasn't been able to establish possession. So Marquette is getting so many opportunities here. And then when they have had the opportunities, they've been incredibly efficient at striking.
Marquette now on the man up as number 34, Trent Tomas, is in the box. Marquette going to switch their personnel here. Stegman and Cowan coming off. It's Moya and Patterson trotting on. So it'll be a minute-long penalty for Thomas. I couldn't hear what the ref was saying while you were talking, John.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
It's all right. You got some great insight for us.
Thank you.
All Hirschman has to do here is get the ball back to McClelland. Big face-off right here. That's going to be Marquette possession after the hold is called.
Marquette gets another.
So Marquette in the man up. McClelland over to Cowan. Throws it away. Cowan thought that Moya was there, but he wasn't.
And you have to be careful here. Enough of those little mistakes could add up. You don't want to get too comfortable with this 6-0 lead. Still only the first quarter.
Easily cleared. McClellan stuck on the field. 30 seconds left on the penalty. Corcel trying to force a turnover, but they're going to slow it down.
Might as well.
Yeah, there's no harm in slowing it down here, waiting until you're back to full strength. As James Whiteford comes and gets it.
50 seconds on the shot clock still, so
10
no
seconds
rush.
on the penalty. 5 seconds. Tomas released. Legnard will come on. Now down to 32 seconds on the shot clock. Brown initiating from X. He's got PJ Cox.
Great stick check here by Cox.
17 seconds. Now 15 on the shot clock. Herbert, defended by Khrushchevsky. Goes left. Gives it up. Trout looking inside. The shot was blocked by somebody from Marquette. Woodward in hot pursuit. Shot clock violation is called.
Great effort there, though, by Woodward to get the ground ball.
Yeah, Woodward dove after that one trying to get to it. As Marquette makes the clear, Khrushchevsky gets it over. And Fazio now has it. Marquette's going to take a timeout. They were in a strange situation with the time winding down. 36.6 seconds to go in the first quarter.
They can hold
on the
for
shot
the
clock.
last
Right.
shot here.
They likely will. But we'll see what Coach Poilon draws up here in the huddle. The new offensive coordinator for Marquette. Steppy, we haven't really talked much about this, but it's a new Marquette coaching staff after Joe Amplo left in June to head to the Naval Academy. Andrew Stimmel was hired as the new head coach after he made a stint at Marquette as the defensive coordinator a couple years ago.
2016.
In 2016, led them to the Big East Championship and an NCAA tournament berth. And now, Coach Stimmel, the head coach. Pete Poilon is the offensive coordinator. Jake Richard is back as the defensive coordinator. So some new blood here in the Marquette lacrosse program.
And one thing that Stemmel is saying is with this young team, this staff, one key thing that they've been doing is trusting these young players. It's not an easy thing to do as an assistant coach being at a new place. In Pete's case, not so much with Jake, but that's not an easy thing to do, but they've done
Not
it.
at all.
And they got the overtime win last week. A 6-0 lead is about as good as you can ask for today.
Probably better than the overtime victory last week is the start to this game.
Yes.
You do not want the game coming down to the wire as it did last week. You would way prefer to be up 6-0 and to have a strong cushion here in the bubble.
I think that might have aged Stimmel a couple of years. At least a solid few months.
Yeah. That one was a head scratcher. Marquette going to slow it down here. Kirshner has it up at the top. Under 30 seconds. It's Cowan, Patterson, Fazio, McClelland, Henkhaus, and Kirshner. Kirshner. Under 15. Henkhaus going to come and set the screen. Kirshner coming around, gives it up to McClelland. McClelland inside to Fazio. Fazio shoots and he scores.
Might as well put that play at the Art Museum. Work of art right there to make it a 7-0 lead.
As an old ESPN broadcaster, Eamon McEnany used to say, that is why they call it execution.
That is. Put that picture of that play in the dictionary under execution.
Wow, that was beautiful offense by Marquette. Had the little two-man game, looked inside, Fazio wide open.
With only 3.7 seconds left, not enough for Bellarmine to really do anything. Another chance here for Hirschman.
This face-off essentially meaningless as Hirschman wins it, and he got bodied. And that is going to end the first quarter here
not
at
a fun
the Dome
hit
Valley
at
Fields.
the end of that one.
Certainly not. But he was trying to head into the crease and score. But hey, it was a good try. He won the ground ball, won the face-off, and his team leads 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Goals for a lot of different players there in that first quarter for Marquette. Patterson had 2, Fazio and McClelland with 1, and then 1 each for Crines, Kirshner, and Washington. McClelland with 2 assists, and 1 for Cowan and Stegman.
And really, you look at almost every stat, Marquette with a dominant advantage in it, an 8-1 advantage in shots on goal. What else can you ask for, really, from an offense?
And from the defense, too. Holzman's only had to make 1 save. And compared to Higginbotham, who also has 1 save, but he's allowed 7 goals, Holzman hasn't allowed any.
Much different stat lines there between the two goalies today.
Marquette's defense playing really strong. They haven't had to play a ton of defense because Washington and Hirschman have won the faceoffs.
That's pretty easy to play good defense.
It is.
Frankly, Bellarmine hasn't been able to sustain possessions. When they have had possessions, they've been just shooting themselves in the foot.
When you're able to play keep away, simply when you have a good faceoff, man, and all you have to do is you win the faceoff, you then control the offensive possession. Your defense doesn't need to get any run, and the other defense is going to get exhausted because they're playing constantly, and your offense is out there switching out the midfielders. Marquette's even switching out the attackmen here too because it's still a young season. Marquette has a lot of young players. They want to see what the combinations are like. But so far today, everything's working.
I don't think you could find something that hasn't gone well for Marquette. I guess they've had some unforced errors.
They have, but that's going to happen, especially with a young team, a young coaching staff. And we were talking to Coach Stimmel, and he said, a team like this, it's hard to coach because you tell them one thing, but at certain points it simply they're going to do what they know how to do as a lacrosse player, and it comes down to basically what they know how to do.
Exactly.
So now it'll be J.T. Simonton against Jared Hirschman.
A little more meaning to this one than the last one.
Ground ball. It's in the offensive third. Woodward picks it up. Now he's scrambling. He's being hounded by a long stick. Oh, Anderson, bull dodge, went right through a couple guys. Luke Anderson.
Like a hot knife through butter.
6'3". Oh, he got lit up at the end by Trent Tomas. Wow. Big hit after Anderson knocked everyone else down. Tomas said, none of that.
Going from the bowling ball to the bowling pin very quickly.
Hankhouse is stuck on. Tomas coming off said, he tiny, referring to Luke Anderson.
But Marquette has really been able to do well with these smaller, quicker, more athletic guys.
And guess what? Another turnover for Bellarmine. That's been the tale of the game so far today.
Right on cue.
Granger looking to clear here. Zach Granger coming back from a major leg injury last year. Redshirt sophomore. Played a bit as an LSM in his freshman year. Had to redshirt last season, and so far this year, ZG, as Stimmel refers to him, he's been a monster on the defensive end, just hounding guys after switching to close defense.
And really, he was complimentary both of Woodward and Granger after that great start to the season.
Connor McClellan has it. He's defended by Vaxman. Gets a screen. They give it up to Hankhouse. Mako is caught on the field.
Mako really that offensive leader for Bellarmine.
But now he's stuck on the defensive end. Patterson gives it up to Hankhouse. 20 seconds on the shot clock. McClelland went low to high, and he beat J.C. Higginbotham. 8-0.
Already quite the line in the box score here for McClellan. 2 goals, 2 assists. Not sure what else you can ask for.
Senior leadership. Connor McClelland. Hankhouse hasn't tallied anything, but he's been distributing. And Marquette now, 8-0 lead, 12:52 to go here in the second quarter. Washington at the face-off X. Everything is turning up Marquette so far.
And really, I think it's worth noting how much this has been done with a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores being thrust into pretty big leadership roles. And Stimmel was saying sometimes it helps that you have freshmen that don't really know any better and aren't nervous because of that. It just seems like a glorified practice to them. I'd say that glorified practice mentality is working right now.
It is. It absolutely is. Because they're playing loose. They're having fun. They're taking the shots that they're supposed to take. They're not getting in their own heads. And that was a problem a bit last year with Marquette. They seemed to think too much on the offensive end and didn't do enough.
And you can just hear how quiet the Bellarmine sideline is right now.
You said it earlier. They're shell-shocked. They need to beat Holzman here. Trout dodging. He gives it inside. Now over to Legnard. Khrushchevsky defending. Up top, Trout. Good slide by Corsell. Got there in time. Woodward defending. Now Cox takes him instead.
Marquette, this might be as sustained of a possession as Bellarmine's had today.
Marquette heavily sliding. Shot goes off somebody's. It either went off their dome or it went off of somebody's stick, but that one ricocheted heavily.
Could hear that one from over here.
That shot goes wide. Ooh, a reset of the shot clock. I don't know about that one.
That one helps out Bellarmine a little bit. Maybe the break they needed.
Flag is thrown. Is it a goal or was he in the crease first? There's going to be a push. Woodward's going to head to the box. It looks like. Yep. So Mason Woodward heading to the box for a minute for a slash. No goal.
This is as good of an opportunity for Bellarmine as they have had
here
today. You have to take advantage of this.
No goal, player in the crease. The push was called because Woodward slashed him into the crease. So no goal. He hit the ground before. The new dive rules in the NCAA now. And Bellarmine goes man up. It's Hallam, Cox, Corsell, Granger, and Lardy. Marquette has 2 LSMs out there right now with one of their close defenders on his knee in the box. Marquette.
Bellarmine might need to pick up the tempo here if they want to take advantage of this man-up opportunity.
Marquette kind of playing protect the paint mentality here. Stack the inside. Shot was blocked. Ground ball. Big ground ball here. Holzman trying to pick it up. He can't. Going around the crease. Granger.
What
beautiful
a play.
Trail check. But now it's open inside. Shoots, scores, and flags thrown. Holzman did as much as he could there, but when you got a guy coming unmarked right at you, not much you can do.
I'm not sure if there is any goalie in the country that could have done really anything against that.
That would have been a ridiculous save. Corsell now called for a slash. So Anthony Corsell in the box for a minute here after Marquette just gets one man back from the man down situation. They lose another.
A much different feel to the start of this second quarter.
Just a bit. That goal was scored by Braden Brown, his second of the year. Big face-off here for Washington. He's only got one wing with him. Oh, Washington.
I think he just broke his
stick.
Did.
The cross broke off of his shaft.
You do not see that every day.
Wow. That was, he hit him with force, and he lost the head of his stick. So
Andrew
Marquette,
Whitley in his first season at Bellarmine, not happy about
not
that.
at all. So Marquette still man down. Trout shoots, save made by Holzman. Clean save. And
I would expect Marquette to take their time, wait for this penalty.
Got to get it over midfield, though, and they do. Crines gets it over. Still 10 seconds to go on the shot clock before they had to get it over. Crines being hounded. Penalty is released, and McClelland now comes on back to full strength.
He had to pretty much have a magic trick up his sleeve to get out of that one.
McClelland tried to make the save here right in front of us, but he couldn't.
Another Bellarmine opportunity.
Marquette's back to full strength, so it's 6-on-6. Benny O'Rourke gets it over to Mako. After a pretty wild couple minutes there, it's back to full. Shot, that one rung the bar.
You have to think that Bellarmine needs to still cut into this a little more. You don't want to go into halftime down this much.
O'Rourke up to Tomas. Well, that's Bowie, actually. Offensive midi, not defensive. O'Rourke draws the slide. P.J. Cox, nice job of forcing him back out. Trout. He had Woodward on him. Shoots it wide. 54 seconds left on the shot clock.
And it looked like Logan Crines lost his stick in the process of that play.
Granger puts one on the turf, and Marquette comes up with it. Marquette gonna have to clear now.
Another 10 seconds here.
Marquette gets it over. Marquette now on offense. Griffin Freeze comes on wearing 24 instead of 15 today. Freeze seeing his first time in the year. He's out there with Orsini and McClelland.
And you have this opportunity to get some different guys in.
Oh, beautiful feed from Fazio into McClelland. McClelland now has a hat trick, senior to senior. Fazio initiating from X. Looked inside. He had the cutting lefty who finished it off right in front. That was picturesque offense.
It's clear that whatever Coach Whitley drew up to stop Connor McClelland, maybe it's time to change that up a little bit. 3 goals. Still plenty of time left in this half.
He's hard to stop.
He
really
is.
hard to stop.
Well, he has as many shots on goal as the entire Bellarmine team right now.
One big thing that McClelland has is he has that box lacrosse background. So he has quick hands, and he translates that into the field game where he has way more space against these long pole defenders instead. And it really makes a difference. And you can see the Canadian influence on his game as Hallam picks up the loose ball. Up to Granger.
And you see the Canadian flag on the back of all of Marquette's helmets.
Marquette now working it around. They've got their first midfield unit back on. It's Moya out there with Henkhaus. And Kirschner instead of McClelland, actually.
Mix there of very experienced and very young.
Marquette really likes to mix up their midfield groups, especially today. They're running a lot of different guys out of the box.
Keep them fresh.
Cowan comes around. Shot was blocked. Ground ball picked up by Devin Cowan.
Right back to him.
Patterson has it at the top. Oh, that shot went high. But it came in quick. That one was coming in hot.
Like the idea on that one, just not quite the execution they needed.
Kirschner has the short stick. That's Dylan Tullett. He had Fazio for a second, but didn't give it to him. Fazio's got Chase Fairbanks. Fazio coming around the crease. Up top. Moya has it.
Good
Moya
movement here by Marquette.
going left. Gives up to Henkhaus. Henkhaus cutting inside to Kirschner. Kirschner backing his man down. Up top for Patterson. Low pass. Ground ball scooped up.
Golden opportunity here for Bellarmine if they can take advantage.
Patterson now back on defense. Shot. Goal. Bellarmine, an unsettled transition offense. They notched their second one of the day.
And that opportunity was wrapped nicely in wrapping paper, had a bow. I was talking about being Christmas for you, Dan. That was the Christmas present for the Bellarmine offense.
You're right about it being Christmas free. I was waiting for this day for a while.
I knew.
Last week when Marquette was away, I was waiting for lacrosse to be back. Love lacrosse season.
Yes.
My favorite time of year.
And plenty of it. We'll be back on the air next week as well.
Next week, the Georgetown game in March. That one's you and I as well. That's 3 violations against Washington.
Number 3.
So that means that it'll be a penalty. I don't know who's going to be in the box. I think it's, 6. So it's Ryan Fazio that has to take the time in the box, because you can't have 3 violations in the same half or else it's a penalty. It's a procedure violation. So Fazio, being the first listed guy in the starting lineup, he's the one that takes the penalty.
Man, I'm not sure if I want to have the low numbers here.
No, right.
I see what Corcell's doing with having 99 on most days. Today, not so much with 0.
He's actually the lowest number were he in the starting lineup. But Holzman pokes that one away. They're looking inside. They've got a man open on the crease. Braden Brown scores.
Braden Brown getting the space again. Another one where not really much Holzman could do.
Right. Actually, the only goalie that I've seen make a save as incredible as that is the defensive coordinator for this Bellarmine team, Kyle Bernlohr. He was Maryland's goalie a couple years ago, and when there was a shot on the doorstep in overtime by Chris Cloutier in the national championship, he made an incredible save that is always talked about as one of the best saves in lacrosse history. Incredible save. You should look it up. If you look up Kyle Bernlohr,
I'll do that during
Maryland
halftime.
save, it was incredible. He's the only one that I've seen make that save. And it's funny that he's on this sideline. I watched a lot of lacrosse these past couple months, in case you were wondering.
No doubt about that one, Dan.
In my free time, I just look up Maryland versus North Carolina. As Hallam got tripped up, no flag. Fazio has it. Nobody's in the goal. Stegman got it poked away, though.
You're seeing another level of energy here from Bellarmine after a rough start to the quarter.
Cowan picks it off. He got popped. Moe
That
Lardy.
one will hurt tomorrow.
What happened there? Moe Lardy, great hustle. And he got there in time to get Marquette possession. Great hustle by Lardy, but what happened was Marquette pursued a player trying to force him out of bounds. He threw it to his goalie. Devin Cowan intercepted it, shot it. Nobody was there for the backup, but Moe Lardy hustled and dove full out to get Marquette possession. That's great hustle by the junior.
Lardy, actually interesting, he went to high school in Wisconsin and in New York.
He went to Kettle Moraine, right?
Yes. Not too far from here.
Higginbotham got the backup there. Fazio wasn't close enough. 9-3 is the score, 4:30 to go. A bit of a crazy second quarter. There's been some strange plays that you don't typically see in this one.
This will be in your future video watching.
Mm-hmm. And they get it over.
About 4 seconds to spare on that one.
Yep, they get it into the box, and they're all good. Haven't seen Luke Anderson in a while. He's going to come back on. And Bellarmine's going to take a timeout.
So as soon as he thinks he's about to get back on, wait a second.
So 4:04 to go here in the second quarter, first half. Marquette leads 9-3. It's been a Bellarmine advantage in this second quarter. They've led 3-2 in scoring, but Marquette outscored them 7-0 in the first quarter. So there's not a ton that they could do to really, really come back. But
this is, I think, enough for Bellarmine.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get all 7 goals back at one time at Marquette. But you chip away a little bit. It's down to 6. You get maybe a couple more goals, get that to 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. That would be a doable situation here for Bellarmine in the second half.
There's been no shortage of games in the history of college lacrosse where teams are down majorly after the first quarter or after the first half or even after the third quarter. And when you have some firepower on offense that can just score goals at will, you can easily come back. The Bellarmine is certainly not out of this game. But if Marquette is able to score a couple more and hold Bellarmine on a couple possessions, they could put it away.
Yes. Real test here. How does a young team finish this first half? Mm-hmm. You finish it well, and as you said, this game could be over. If you see maybe a little bit of that offense that you saw early on that got that 7-0
Marquette
lead.
was moving the ball around so well in that first quarter. They kept getting open looks. Washington was winning the faceoffs, and since then he struggled a little bit. So that makes sense how Marquette hasn't had as many possessions. And less unforced turnovers for Bellarmine as well.
And really it seemed like in that first quarter, Bellarmine was beating themselves as much as Marquette was beating them. Now they're playing a little more fundamentally sound.
Trout has the short stick. He has Hallam. Let's see if he tries to exploit him. In lacrosse, you always try to go after the short stick on defense. But Marquette forces the turnover. The pass out in front was poked loose. Ground ball after Luke Anderson had it jarred out of his cross. And the ground ball is picked up by Braden Brown.
Great play by Brown.
Great play overall by the Bellarmine Ride to force the turnover as Anderson couldn't fully get it. And Marquette has now defend for another 80.
And that's really another big difference here is Bellarmine didn't really have extended possessions like this.
Mako goes around, shot wide.
A little more difficult when your defense has to work much more time.
Without a doubt. Trout now has Woodward. Trying to go around. Good defense by Mason Woodward, natural lefty. Up to Trout. Trout looking inside, trying to feed. Good defense by P.J. Cox and Zach Granger. Oh, man.
Nowhere to go, practically.
Flag is thrown. Another flag thrown now. Woodward tosses the ball into the corner.
Bellarmine's happy with that
Yeah,
one.
a lot of flags there. We'll see if Marquette loses 2 guys or not.
And now you're seeing the Marquette sideline be the much
A bit
more
dejected.
quiet
Yeah.
one.
This happened last game, too. The second quarter was slow, incredibly slow. Anderson's going to the box. And I think Granger is, too.
So Bellarmine 2 men up.
So Anderson with the slash. So 2 penalties against Marquette. 2 slashes, one against Granger, the other against Luke Anderson. So it's a 6-on-4 scenario now.
And Stimmel making his case to the officials to little avail.
So it's Woodward, Lardy, Corsell, and P.J. Cox. They've got the 4 long sticks out there. That's what you would expect because you can only have 4 long poles out there at a time. So you put your 4 most dependable that are left. Ball is thrown away. That's an over and back. Oh, missed opportunity.
Costly mistake there by Bellarmine.
Marquette's going to have to run out the penalty here. They're going to call timeout. Marquette's going to take a timeout to regroup. Marquette up 9-3, 2:02 left in the first half. Anderson and Granger still have 38 seconds left on their penalties, so Marquette going to have to play a little bit of keep away here and make sure that Bellarmine doesn't get the ball back and push tempo.
This Bellarmine attack wakes up tomorrow morning, that memory of that missed opportunity, if they can't complete this comeback, is going to haunt them. You convert on that, maybe make it 9-4. Maybe you still have some time on the penalty. Maybe you possibly score again. A 9-5 game, they're in it. Instead, looks like 2 minutes left in the half. Marquette can run this down to just under a minute. A huge momentum shift here.
Yeah, you can't miss that opportunity. You have a 2-man advantage on the other team. And typically, if Marquette's even a man down, then that's not a good sign. Any team in lacrosse, you go a man down, then you have to play zone defense instead of sticking to a man. So somebody's got to be open at all times. And you have a 2-man advantage, and you throw it away. That can't happen. Can't happen.
And credit also to those 4 guys.
Oh, absolutely. Marquette was playing
that
good
was
defense.
A wall there. As
there's
much
a
of
reason.
A wall as you can get with only 4 people.
There's a reason why Marquette practices man down and man up practically every single day. And they certainly did it yesterday. Almost all the practice yesterday was man up, man down, clearing, things like that, special situations.
I'm not sure if even they expect it to be 2 men down, though. And Jake Richard using that as a coaching opportunity there. If they have to be on the sideline for another 35 seconds, take advantage.
Cowan splits the double. Oh, spins through one, too. Khrushchevsky. "15 seconds to go on the penalty.
45 on the shot clock.
Khrushchevsky bringing it around. And Marquette is going to kill the penalties. Great work by Marquette.
And that is a test that a young team had and they passed, and now they have all of the momentum here at the Valley Fields Dome.
Man, that was perfect. Perfect job by Devin Cowan. McClellan goes into a triple team. He got knocked down. No flags thrown, even though it looked like he took a high hit. Shot clock's winding down. 6 seconds. That's Marquette ball with 5 seconds on the shot clock. He's got to shoot it.
No time to waste here.
He's just going to throw it to the corner. Henkhaus tosses one into the corner. Marquette didn't really realize how little time they had left.
At 5 seconds.
You can do something with it if you recognize it right away and know what you're doing, but Henkhaus had no idea when he restarted. Under a minute to go, 40 seconds. Shot clock does not matter now, other than getting it over midfield, which they do. And now a bit of a chance for Mako, but he pulls it back out, saving for the last shot.
We'll see, can Bellarmine kind of pull a Marquette and get a goal with about 3 seconds left again.
Bowie. He has Hallam, the short stick. Woodward was lurking, though. Now Anderson defending. Forces him to goal line extended. Cox takes him instead. O'Rourke has a chance. Goes in. He scores. Benny O'Rourke drew the slide, and Marquette was a bit out of system.
And maybe Bellarmine having more of these extended possessions. Defense looks maybe a little more tired, a step slower than they were in the first quarter. And all of a sudden now it's a 9-4 game.
Bellarmine outscoring Marquette 4-2 here in this quarter. It's 9-4 with 4 seconds to go here in the first half.
You have to think not really much you can do at this last 4.1.
Unless you cleanly win the faceoff and take it immediately and are able to get a shot off. It's really hard to do. Hirschman does win it, but can't cleanly get the ground ball. And that's going to do it for the first half. Marquette leads 9-4 at the end of 30 minutes here at Valley Fields. Marquette leads 9-4, John. It was a really, really great first quarter for Marquette.
Second quarter, maybe not so much. That was really is a story of 2 quarters. The first one was great. Everything went perfect. Second quarter, there were some things left to be desired.
Exactly.
You saw maybe a little more of a reality check for this younger team, but Coach Stimmel was really emphasizing patience, and that is really needed to have a young team be able to win games like this.
So at the end of the first half, Marquette leads 9-4. We're going to take a break here on Marquette University Television, but when we get back, we'll have the second half of action between the Marquette Golden Eagles and the Bellarmine Knights, so stay tuned.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination.
Honey, have you seen my cell phone?
But don't just imagine.
My park came to life?
Ooh, a plot twist.
Use STEM to build, create,
She did it.
and change the world.
Who's with me?
I'm more of a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Tilly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey! There are amazing things to discover in the forest.
Toothless, time to go.
What you picking up on, bud? It's a whole hidden world of wonders. And the perfect place to spend time with family. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Welcome back to the Dome at Valley Fields. I'm Dan Abington alongside John Steppe. Marquette leads Bellarmine 9-4 here entering the second half. It'll be Hirschman and Simonton taking the opening faceoff of the second half. Marquette stormed out to an early 7-0 lead in this matchup, and then Bellarmine scored 4 compared to Marquette's 2 in that second quarter.
An important stretch here. How does Marquette respond after a shaky second quarter?
Hirschman and Simonton fighting for the clamp. And Hallam is going to win the ground ball. He's hounded immediately after picking it up. Flag is thrown. He gets it to Moe Lardy. Marquette kind of with a free play here.
Maybe that hit was a little high.
Cowan. So yeah, Marquette they've got a completely free play here because they're going to get the ball back after, unless it's a goal, of course.
That's not a bad way to start the second half, Dan.
Cowan has Finnell. Gives way to Fazio, who's defended by Tomas. Fazio at X. Fazio comes around to McClelland, up top to Hankhouse.
Marquette
Kirshner
taking their time here.
He got doubled. Patterson trying to get away. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hankhouse heads inside, goes toward the crease. Shot goes wide.
Looked like a little low as well.
Vaxman went full out to try to get that possession, but it doesn't matter because Landon Trout's headed to the box.
And not exactly the person that Bellarmine wants in the box either.
It is a 1-minute slash call against Landon Trout.
Him and Coach Whitley talk.
So
about 3 feet away from us or so.
So it's Cowan, Moya, Stegman, Patterson, McClellan, and Fazio. That's the man-up unit. Moya behind the crease. He's at X, working it around the perimeter. Patterson, he's got an opening, but a good slide. Stegman faked it, gets it back. Looking inside for Fazio. Shot goes wide.
Not an easy shot attempt.
Yeah,
Credit
not at
to
all.
Bellarmine for making these low percentage shots. Well, I should say forcing them to take these low percentage shots.
McClellan now flashing in the middle. He's open. He scores.
Easy as pie.
Patterson, McClellan, top shelf. 10-4, Marquette's up.
And Bellarmine just looked like they weren't expecting him to even take that.
The
They're
problem
like, wait,
is,
what?
when you're man down, you try to protect the perimeter, and you can't protect the inside as well, or you try to protect the inside, and then somebody shoots one from way out and scores on you. There's only so much you can do when you're man down, and simply, it's not going to be possible to guard everybody because you have one less guy out there.
And if there's somebody to leave open, I don't think it's Connor McClelland. I think this has been abundantly clear here through the first half and the first couple minutes of the third quarter here.
He is so smooth on the inside. That Canadian lefty with the box background as Corsell forces the turnover on the face-off. Team still fighting for the ground ball after it. It's in Marquette's defensive zone. Granger trying to pick it up. He can't. Granger gets knocked down, maintains possession.
A full day's work there just on that one possession.
And Khrushchevsky going to push. Great turnover caused by Anthony Corsell, number 0.
Usually number 99.
Also 27 sometimes. He
Got
wears
the whole
3
mix
different
of them.
numbers. And none of them are anywhere near each other. Fazio initiating from X. He got his man hung up. Kirshner picks up the ground ball. He's got Patterson up top. Doesn't see him.
You wonder what that would have been if that pass is a little more precise, a little more right on to Cowan.
Fazio working it around. Patterson saying go the other way. Hankhouse looking up top for Kirshner. Kirshner, Patterson, Orsini. Got Cowan behind. Gives it back to him. Almost an errant pass there, but Cowan gets it into his pocket. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Cowan trying to use the big body. Orsini ripped one from the outside. Shot was saved. Reset of the shot clock. Marquette is a fresh 80.
And right here, you're seeing Marquette taking advantage of a lot of time, or taking their time, taking advantage of their possessions. Keep that Bellarmine defense on their toes.
Kirshner goes inside and ends up in the crease. So it'll be Bellarmine possession now. Oh, Fazio almost caused a turnover there, but couldn't.
Nice effort there.
Henkhouse is caught on. Rip from the outside. Save, John Holzman. Holzman, who played at Bellarmine his freshman year. Played at Bellarmine, was all SoCon. That's the Southern Conference. And transferred to Marquette. Had a nice year last year, and he's looking great so far this season.
You have to think this one has maybe a little extra importance for him.
Marquette slows things down a little bit, and Fazio now has it. Stegman coming on. He's got nobody with him.
Fazio just looking for something.
Orsini gets Wolfson. Or that's Tullett, actually. Patterson got bumped off.
Good marking here.
If the pass had been a second earlier, Patterson would have ripped that one. Fazio. Inside to Patterson. Can't control it. He gets pushed, but no call. Higginbotham trying to orchestrate the clear.
Gotta do something with it soon.
Fazio picks it off. Oh, he had an open net, but he decided not to use it.
That might have been a little ambitious of a shot there, Dan.
Fazio and Krzyzewski tried a little hidden ball trick there, but nobody was fooled.
Man, they're pulling out all the tricks here today.
They are. Up 10-4. Under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Officially 9:05 remaining on the clock. I'm Dan Abington alongside John Steppe, presenting this matchup on Marquette University Television.
You have to think that maybe Fazio would have taken that shot had they been down like this at halftime. But with the lead, no need to take a low percentage shot.
Stegman shook his defender there and got off a good shot, but he couldn't finish. Good look, though.
Bellarmine taking their time a little bit with this one.
McClelland is caught on. Oh, Whiteford gets knocked to the turf by McClelland. Granger picked that pass off. Well, he didn't pick it off. He knocked it down instead, but close enough. And that one is going to go out. Oh, it'll stay with Bellarmine as Corsell tipped it.
Great defense, though, by Corsell, by Granger. Keep Bellarmine out of sync.
Oh, behind the back. Braden Brown.
Call Sports Center.
Whew. That one was nice. Brown looked to the goal, saw that Holzman had his path blocked, and instead he tossed one behind his back. That's a hat trick for Braden Brown.
He's having a day.
Junior from British Columbia.
Quite the Canadian influence in this game between the two teams.
He only had 2 goals and 5 assists last year, but they graduated a lot of talent at the attack. A goal and an assist last game, and now 3 today.
So 4 total through not even the second game being done. A big proclamation there. Our team proclaims Bryce Vaxman.
I think he said our game.
Or our game. Good catch there, Dan.
Yeah. Changes the whole message.
Yes, it does.
Marquette wins
That's
the
why you're
face-off.
here.
I know. I'm just a fact checker. Oh,
Yes.
Holzman missed the pass. Marquette only has 8 seconds to get it over. Oh, he tossed one up into dangerous territory, and it's picked off. Now unsettled.
Nice
Brown
stretch there.
shoots with the left, went wide.
Dan, we had a front row seat for that
We did.
turnover.
That one came right in front of us.
You're seeing a much more vocal Bellarmine team since that first quarter where
They came with
they
a lot
fell
of energy
behind
into this third.
7-0. The energy is up in the second quarter. It's still up third quarter.
But they're still down 5. They got a lot of work to do. Mako, he has Henkhaus. Goes inside. Good slide by Granger. Trout's wide open. Now Woodward sees that, and he's got him. Legnard. Henkhaus defending Legnard, goes in. It's in. Wow, that was a strange play. No one knew that was in.
No. There's a
Until the
moment of
referee.
hesitation for everybody there. Like,
Everyone-
wait, was this actually, did that actually go in? And indeed it does, and this is starting to become quite the game.
PJ Cox is coming out of the game, the third defenseman. Corcell's coming on. And Jack Cleary is now in at LSM.
And you knew that that 7-0 was not going to stay.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm not sure many people have expected this resilient, or this much resiliency here by Bellarmine to already make this a close game again.
It's silent over in the bleachers. Washington won the faceoff but couldn't win the ground ball. Now Cleary trying to get to it. He got knocked down.
Now Marquette has the bench that's shell-shocked. You're seeing a lot of that same body language that you were seeing from Bellarmine in the first quarter. Now Marquette not quite understanding how this is happening.
So 5:50 to go here in the third quarter. Oh, a good chance there, but Trout couldn't handle it.
Nice effort there by Luke Anderson, though.
O'Rourke to Bowie. They've got Crines. Now back to Trout. He's also got a short stick in Anderson. Different looking Marquette defense right now, with Corcell on instead of PJ Cox. And Jack Cleary seeing his first time of the day. James Amarasana, typically the third LSM for Marquette, is injured today. His arm in a sling. O'Rourke has it up top. Mako dodging. He goes inside, missed it wide. 17 on the shot clock.
Nice idea there, but you were talking about execution before, just not there.
Oh, great save by Holzman. Shot clock resets. Team's fighting for the ground ball. Who's going to come up with it? Still scrapping for it. Bellarmine gets it. Timeout Knights.
Bellarmine heard them proclaim our game. It's our game if you're Bellarmine right now. You're seeing it right now.
You are. I mean, it was 7-0, and then Bellarmine scores 4 goals in the second quarter, and now it's 10-6, and they've got a chance to make it 10-7. So Bellarmine certainly making some great plays, a couple huge ground balls that have gone their way, and that really can happen if you're Marquette.
And it's interesting, it really is a little bit of a role reversal here. First quarter, you had Marquette behind at halftime trying to get back. Now they're the ones trying to protect a first half lead. You have to think, though, that if they somehow don't come out with this one, it's going to sting for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't go up 7-0 and then lose the game. That absolutely can't happen. And part of that, you have to say, is the offense isn't really clicking right now. The defense is kind of struggling, and they've had to switch their personnel around a little bit. And I guess you can say that all of those things contribute to it, but really, that just can't happen. You can't go up 7-0, allow the other team to come back into the game, and lose it.
Well, the thing is, right now, Bellarmine has all the momentum.
They do.
Really, just getting them or allowing them to get this close already, you're dealing with a pretty grave problem here, considering they have all the momentum, still plenty of time left in this one. Marquette needs to start changing things quickly here.
Marquette's scrambling a little bit in all aspects. Offense, defense, ground balls, face-offs. They haven't been as clean as they were in that first quarter, and that's what's made the difference. Bellarmine's gotten all the 50-50 ground balls here in the third and second quarters. They've been quicker to the ball, and part of that is due to the fact that Marquette still has a young team. They're not out there able to win some of those ground balls as easily as a veteran team.
Well, Stimmel is saying how usually he'd like to have the leaders of the team be juniors, seniors, but it's not a perfect world, was his words.
Kick save by Holzman, and then the backup, Zach Granger. Wow. Granger on the dive out. Made the play.
That's one that the coaching staff looking back at the film will appreciate.
They love that one. Anytime a player makes an effort like that and gets his team a possession, it's huge, huge. And then Granger makes a nice pass to Max Kruchevsky. And Marquette has a possession again. That was huge, huge sequence. Cowan gives it up to Kirshner, who mishandles the pass, but
quickly recovered.
McClelland.
Maybe a little more urgency here from this Marquette offense than we saw even just a couple minutes ago.
Cowan going inside, save Higginbotham. Somebody got clipped. Oh! Cowan tried to make the trail check, and he tripped his own teammate.
Never a pretty sight.
Big save by Higginbotham. That is his 7th of the day. Or no, it's 6th, actually. They'd already updated it. I thought that I was adding one.
They're quick.
They are. Quicker than I am, apparently. All right, so now Bellarmine has another chance. 3 minutes on the clock in the third quarter. It's a 4-goal game. O'Rourke, defended by Crines. Up top, they've got one more pass. Trout trying to go around Lardy. And Corsell picks it off.
There.
Oh, overthrow. Bowie gets it back. Now they've got numbers as Anderson can't catch up. Fresh 80.
Bellarmine no longer needs to rush. They've got plenty of time.
They do. O'Rourke over to Mako. This one back to Mako. Dodging. Anderson, give it some distance. Shot goes wide.
There's a moment of fear there.
Yeah, I thought that one was in.
I think Holzman might have thought that was in too.
Bowie to Mako, 32 on the shot clock. Trout back behind the cage. Mako, Marquette in a zone right now. Shot deflected high. Good defense by Moe Lardy.
Bellarmine needs to kick this one into gear. 17.
Mako.
10 on the shot clock.
Shot by Trout. Reset. Holzman must have touched it with his leg. So another 80. Marquette's defense is going to be gassed at the end of this one.
Maybe even sounded like it could have nicked off his stick.
Something.
Nonetheless, another opportunity here for Bellarmine.
Shot saved, John Holzman.
That one was in his pocket.
He saw that one the whole way. Makes a save, and he gets his defense off the field. Oh. Flag is thrown.
Both first-year coaches are fired up.
I think it's going to go against Bellarmine. McClellan got knocked down.
Oh. Whitley not mincing any words, saying, terrible call. And he's going to keep on arguing.
So it's Mako. That's going to the box.
He's making sure his voice is heard.
Body check. Well, there was a little jawing back and forth between coaches there, too.
Yeah.
Stimmel had a couple words to say. So it's man down. There's a minute-long penalty, 53 seconds to go in the quarter.
Battle between two first-year coaches. Stimmel said, though, he doesn't really think about it that way, just as another quality opponent.
Get it up to McClellan. Fazio. Back to McClellan at the point. It's the same man-up unit as before. Stegman, McClellan, Fazio, Patterson, Moya, and Cowan. Moya is back behind the cage.
Not much time here left in the penalty.
McClellan shoots, it goes wide. Backup is there for Marquette. Marquette might hold it here. Yep. You know what they're going to do, John? They're going to hold it so that Marquette is going to get the ball to start the fourth quarter. There won't be a faceoff to start the fourth
there
because Bellarmine's a man down. So Marquette, they're absolutely going to have an offensive chance, even though it won't be a man up for a while. It's only 6 seconds, I believe, on the penalty.
But that's an important 6 seconds.
Absolutely.
Smart move there by Stimmel. Give the hold signal. About everyone had their hands up on the Marquette sideline. It was clear. Take advantage. Get possession right away. Maybe that'll be the difference maker here.
So a bit of a rough third quarter for Marquette. They're still leading 10-6. 15 minutes to go here. What's the key for Marquette if they want to win this game?
I think it really is a matter of patience for a young team. It's easy to get these ups and these downs. I think also outside the mental side of the game, you have to really be able to take advantage of these possessions. Don't have these unforced errors that we saw really plague Bellarmine for a good chunk of this game. You really have to avoid those. Take your time. And I think it wouldn't hurt if you get a few early goals too.
Right. You gotta get a tally at least one score here. I mean, I guess you could win the game by just simply playing enough defense and not letting the other team score 4, but
you'd rather not.
You would way rather score here and not have to worry about that. You'd rather put some distance here, get a goal, go up 11-6, and then it's a 5-goal game compared to a 4-goal game, which, I mean, in 15 minutes, of course, you can score 5 goals. Marquette scored 7 in the opening minutes of that first quarter, but it's a very different game if Marquette's able to score early here.
It's hard to picture if they're able to score 2 goals, Bellarmine having as many goals in the fourth quarter as the first 3. You can see the nervousness on each sideline right now.
Moe Lardy and Luke Anderson thought that they had to go out on the wings of that faceoff. And Jake Richard now giving him a bit of a talking to.
Looked like Coach Whitley thought we knew, or we were in charge at the time.
We could be, for all he knows.
Dan, you're a man of many talents.
I am. Maybe I'm keeping the clock too.
Broadcaster, scorekeeper.
Penalties released. Stegman now for Cowan. Back to full strength here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cowan.
Got to start moving here.
To Fazio. Fazio going towards the crease. He shoots. It's saved by Higginbotham. Big ground ball. McClelland picked it up. No, it wasn't a save by Higginbotham. It was a blocked shot. And that means that the shot clock doesn't reset.
That's a killer right there. You know they would have appreciated the extra 80 seconds to work.
Without a doubt.
Stick check there. To little avail.
Blake Rashkowski got that one over half. And now 14 minutes to go. It's 10-6. This game far from over.
Certainly a roller coaster game for each team.
Looked like that one could have been called for a high check, but no call. Shot. Hallam got his stick on it.
Big play there. Bellarmine now only with about 20 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
Granger defending. 15 seconds now on the shot clock. Trout with 7 seconds. He's going in. Pass. Whiteford running out of time. And he chucks this one to the corner. I was going to say, you would hate to play defense for that full 80 and give up a goal at the end. But luckily for Marquette, they don't.
That would have been a momentum changer.
Anderson splits the double, gets it over, gives it to Henkhaus.
Got mauled at the end of that one.
He did. Henkhaus trying to pick up the ground ball. He does. Henkhaus being hounded by John Robbins, but Marquette possession.
Really aggressive marking here from Bellarmine.
Kirshner has nobody on him, and he didn't realize it.
You know,
Orsini.
you wish you could have had that one again.
Yeah. But it's all right. Marquette's going to slow it down. Stegman has it at X. Defended by Fairbanks.
The worst case scenario for Marquette on these possessions are give it up early, either turnover or bad shot, without using much time.
Right. Oh.
Time is on your side.
Oh, there's a turnover. Orsini missed it.
Right on cue. It's almost like they heard me.
I know. Broadcaster's curse. But luckily they wasted a lot of time on the shot clock. That's the good thing for Marquette.
Bellarmine also taking their time.
Bowie, defended by Mason Woodward.
Nice defense by Woodward.
Uh-oh. Bowie going inside. No, that's not a goal. It was on the side.
That one looked like it was in.
It did,
from a
because
distance.
you saw the ripple of the net, but it was out of the net. It wasn't in. Hit the side. I thought it came in at a weird angle in order for it to score.
Yeah.
But
that would have been threading a needle.
.11 minutes to go. Marquette going to waste some clock here.
Whitley's message there, I'll take that. Didn't result in the goal, but still very good possession.
Kirshner dodges, scores. Chris Kirshner.
The freshman stepping up big time.
Gives his team a 5-goal cushion. It's 11-6.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
All of a sudden, 5-goal lead. almost 11 minutes to go. Bellarmine really has to pick up the tempo. At their current tempo right now, they're not going to be able to score 5 goals in the next not even 11 minutes. Changing the way Bellarmine has to play, taking them out of their strengths. Cannot state enough how important that goal was.
Big face-off here. If Marquette can get it and hold for another 80 seconds, that's big. That's a hold against Washington again.
Costly one.
Marquette has struggled in the face-off recently.
Only a 10-8 advantage in that stat after having a clear advantage earlier on.
They've won a couple and then not won the ground ball, which is an even bigger part of it. That one got checked by Hallam.
Nice check there.
Trout shoots one wide. Good defense by Woodward. Ground ball. Woodward fighting for it.
And now
it's going to be awarded to Bellarmine.
I was about to say a fresh 80 would have been quite the gift for Marquette.
Oh, big shot from Whiteford from way out.
Bellarmine needed a quick goal to respond to that. And what did they do? They got just that.
So it's 11-7 now. 9:50. Is it 9:50 or 9:58? I can't tell.
That looks like 9:58.
9:58. The goals are directly blocking our path to both clocks. So that is a slight issue.
It helps, Dan, that I'm a little taller, so I can see over the goal.
11-7, 9:58.
And now another important face-off here for Thomas Washington.
2 poles on the wing for Bellarmine. It's Robbins and Vaxman. No hold called there, even though it clearly looked like one. Oh, Washington got steamrolled by Vaxman. That's going to be Marquette possession.
It'd be hard for that not to be a Marquette
possession right
after that.
Washington got shoved into the ground for no reason. Marquette can take some time off here.
And should.
Yeah, absolutely. No reason not to. Hank House. Initiating at the top. Cowan mishandles the pass.
Quick recovery, though.
No goals for Cowan today, after he led the team in scoring last week. McClelland. Hankhouse going in towards the crease.
Would have been
around
hard for Cowan to repeat his performance from last week.
Orsini, big body, gives way to Fazio. 25 to go on the shot clock. McClelland, oh, that one came in hot, but it went out high.
Almost his 5th goal today. Let that set in. He's knocking on the door for 5. I don't know, is there a word for 5?
I don't know. Oh, big ground ball by McClelland after Fazio had his shot saved. McClelland, right place, right time. 8:30 to go. Marquette trying to churn some clock right here. Waste as much time as you can. 11-7 is the score.
What a job by McClelland, too, to be that consistent, steady rock today.
Orsini missed high and wide. Orsini, a bit of an interesting story. Freshman year, he started as soon as he got on campus, and last year, barely saw any time at all.
A difference from 16 goals his freshman year to 4 his sophomore year.
Cowan turns it over.
You have to think if Marquette's going to do much in Big East play, one of the pieces that are really going to be necessary is a return to Orsini's freshman year self.
All right, 7:30 to go, 4-goal game. Still absolutely within reach for the Knights. Mako going in, gives it back to X. They've got Braden Brown on the inside, can't find him. Trout trying to dodge on Hallam. Lardy jawed one loose, but They get it back. Brown. Legnard has it. It's defended by Granger.
Bellarmine
20 seconds on
might
the shot
need
clock.
to pick up the pace
Yeah.
here.
Hallam defending Brown. Great stick check from Jacob Hallam. Jarred the ball loose, and Holzman picks it up.
Holzman has had his fair share of challenges today. 5 saves, 7 goals allowed.
It's not a terrible percentage. Oh,
No.
stick check from Trout, pokes it loose from Kirshner. They've got some numbers. Marquette's able to get their defensive personnel back on. Who's caught on? Kirshner's caught on. Mako gets it back behind the crease. Trout. It's in.
Don't know. It looked like Holzman tried to have some acrobatics
He did.
there, but he just couldn't stop it.
It's 11-8.
And Stimmel was aware of the dangers of Landon Trout, and right there is why. Another important goal. This could be quite the game here. 6 minutes to go, 3-goal game. Not sure how much more a cross enthusiast could ask for than this.
That's Trout's first goal of the game. Woodward's done a nice job of slowing him down.
And you wonder without Woodward how much different this would be. Woodward, the freshman from Towson, Maryland.
Washington wins the faceoff. That one's major.
Needed that one. Well, I shouldn't say need, but certainly helps you out. Ability.
Absolutely needed that one. You were right the first time.
Well, now you can bring it down to 4:30. It wasn't life or death.
I mean, if you lose that one, you're in some trouble. Defense has to play a lot more. But now the offense can waste some time. Fazio.
If I'm doing my math right, they can bring it down to about 4:35 or so.
Stegman to Orsini. Orsini going in, gives it to Cowan at X. He was looking inside. He gets pushed off. Stegman. For McClelland, got doubled. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Stegman. 15 to go. Fazio trying to dodge, shoots from the outside. Save Higginbotham.
Big save there.
It's his 8th.
He's been in a full work day today.
Trout rips one from the outside. That one rung the post. Brown has it. Fresh 80. Definitely not going to use all of it,
matters
though.
at this point.
Right. Bellarmine's going to score as early as they can. First chance they get. Mako dodging inside. Oh, pass goes wide.
And you have to think Bellarmine playing a little quicker, having to play a little quicker. If they go at their usual tempo, that could be a goal. But that urgency there kicks in. Pass goes too high.
It was a great look. They had a wide open shot if that pass goes through. It's going to be a timeout. Marquette's going to take a timeout with 4 minutes and 1 second to go in this game. It's 11-8. Marquette leads. I'm Dan Edmonton alongside John Steppe here on Marquette University Television.
And really, this will be a big situation here. Big possession. You cannot have an unforced error here, because if you do, well, if you don't, you can bring it down to just under 3 minutes or so, which would be big.
That would need to be 3 goals in 3 minutes for Bellarmine.
Bellarmine has shown promise. I don't think they have the ability to score 3
That
goals
would be
in
rather
3
difficult.
minutes. We would be in for quite the finish if that happens.
So what Marquette needs to do here, you got to pass it around the perimeter, and if you have a guy open on the inside, give it to him. If he's wide open and you know that he's going to bury it, if it's Patterson or McClellan on the inside and that's their typical shot, okay, give it to them. But
otherwise, I don't think you take a risky shot here unless it's right at the end of the shot clock.
Right, you got to wait until it's under 10 at the very earliest if you're taking one from the outside.
At this point, the clock is a bigger friend than a possible 4-goal lead.
Yes, without a doubt. But if you're able to get one, if you're able to get a goal, that
wouldn't be
greatly
so bad
increases
either.
your chances.
Yes.
Greatly increases it. But
and also, if you can use some time, that's good. Get the defense some rest where they aren't quite so much in a tough position. So that's about as much as you could ask for as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give these guys a little bit of rest. Corcell's been out there for a while, and as an LSM, he gets a little more tired than the close D guys do because he's running all over. And at the start of the fourth quarter, he's seen a little more time at close defense instead of P.J. Cox. But you got to get Woodward, Corcell, Granger. You got to let them relax a little bit. The offensive guys, the middies, have been shifting in and out. So they have a little bit more legs to them.
Yes.
Higginbotham out of the crease right now. They force a turnover.
That is just what they needed.
Dangerous pass. Big ground ball here. Cowan can't scoop it up. Fazio does.
Fazio just about got mauled there.
McClelland is being mauled. Put a pass through somebody's legs. A push is called.
And 75 seconds, a fresh 80 to run off. All of a sudden, this clock is becoming a major factor here.
So that push that was called huge because it gives Marquette a fresh shot clock. Now, there were some great scraps over there right in front of the Marquette sideline. McClellan picked one up. Cowan picked one up. And Marquette finally gets it after the push is called. 60 seconds on the shot clock. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the game. Marquette going to waste time. They're up 3. It's 11-8. Marquette's only scored 4 goals after that first quarter.
A much different team, but they haven't had to do much. When the great thing about a 7-0 lead is even with not an ideal game the rest of the way, you're in fine shape.
Yeah. There was almost a turnover there by Marquette, but they got it back. McClellan tosses one high. Kirshner's there on the backup. 2:42. Marquette can't wait until that clock hits triple zeros.
It's been a longer one than maybe they were expecting in the first quarter.
Higginbotham makes the save. Kirshner got shoved. He was outside of the crease barely. Relentless ride here by Henkhaus. Stegman fighting for the ground ball.
And now they're going to need to clear this one fast. And they do.
Harrison Pate brings it over. 2:10.
If you don't have a sense of urgency now, I don't know when you will.
Right. Under 2 minutes to go.
You have to find something fast.
Oh. Bowie mishandles the pass. 1:40 left. Need
Almost
3 goals
a
in under
deadly
2
mistake
minutes.
there.
Trout dodging, shoots wide.
Good marking there by Woodward. Only 20 seconds to shoot. I was not expecting the shot clock to be a factor on this, but maybe it will.
Shot and a goal for Morgan Macco.
And the plot thickens.
$11-9, minute 20 to go. Crucial face-off.
Yes.
Because if Marquette wins the face-off, it's game over.
It is.
They can literally run out the rest of the clock. 80-second shot clock.
It is a must win for Bellarmine.
Or
Otherwise,
exactly
you're
80 seconds
just
left in the game.
hoping for some turnover by
Right.
Marquette. You don't want to be relying on that. And you still have to score 2 more times.
Big face-off. Washington wins the clamp. Ground ball. Popped into the air. Anderson can't secure it. Who's going to win it? Luke Anderson gets it off the turf. Cleary trying to get it.
He had 3 people around him at one point.
Trout wins the ground ball. Under a minute. Timeout is going to be taken by Bellarmine.
Buckle your seat belts if you are in a car. I don't know what you would do sitting down, but
I guess you could buckle your seatbelt there too if you have a
I
seatbelt.
guess you do. If that would be an odd house, but
59.5 to go. 2-goal game. Bellarmine ball. Coming out of the timeout. 59.5 seconds is more than enough time to score 2 or even 3 goals.
And Bellarmine has options here. They have people that are scary threats. Right now, I'm sure Marquette's defense is not exactly looking forward to Landon Trout having the ball in his pocket. You have somebody like him. You have a guy like Braden Brown who's had quite the day today. Bellarmine has options here, but they have to do it quick.
Brown, 3 goals on the day, 2 from Legnard, and then 1 for Trout, Mako, O'Rourke, and Whiteford. So they've got options. They've got plenty of them.
You can see the excitement on the Bellarmine sideline. I think everyone else has this nervousness of the please just hold on for another 55 or 59.5 seconds.
Marquette's defensive unit, it's Corsell, Woodward, and Granger. They're the close D. Hallam and Anderson, that's the short stick D middies, and then Moe Lardy, the LSM. Going to need to stand on their heads here. Mako feeding inside. It's a goal for Braden Brown.
This is a game.
It is a 1-goal game, 11-10.
46.5 seconds left. I don't think a movie
you couldn't script this one.
Could write this.
No.
It's crazy. Was anyone in the stadium expecting when it was 7-0 Marquette for this to be 11-10 with 46.5 seconds left?
I told you this could happen. I told you this was still a game.
But did you really believe it?
Not at all. Not at all. Huge face-off. Washington versus Simonton. That's 5 goals on the season for Braden Brown, his 4th of the day.
And another huge test for a very young Marquette team.
Oh.
Practically used half the time just on the face-off.
Big ground ball. Mako has it. Lardy forces it out. Oh, man. Bellarmine gets it out of the air.
Right place, right time for Luke Legnard.
Who can be the hero? That one's jarred loose. Lardy kicks it back. 5 seconds. 4. Hankhouse comes up with it. Timeout, Marquette, with 1.2 to go.
Bellarmine had a chance right there.
Oh, my Lord.
Spectacular Marquette defense there. And what a kick there by Moe Lardy.
Holzman talking a lot of smack as he runs by the Bellarmine huddle there.
Sure, he still knows some of those seniors.
Yeah, you would assume. Wow, Moe Lardy saves the game after that quick trail check. Ball gets popped loose. He sees it on the turf and just boots it ahead. And now 1.2 to go.
Nothing too complicated, just a simple kick.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all that it takes when you're playing defense. Sometimes all that you have to do, just kick it out.
And between these two games, this very young Marquette team is getting very experienced
Oh, yeah.
very quickly. If this is not good preparation for Big East play, not sure what is.
Yeah, nothing is. Hank House is going to get doubled here, but what can you even do with 1.2?
I'm not sure if there's any play in the book.
He's just going to. They're in the 10-man ride, but goalie's out of the crease so that Hank House can be doubled. And he just tosses this one up. And there's the final buzzer. The Marquette Golden Eagles take an 11-10 victory over the Bellarmine Knights.
An 11-10 victory.
Barely, just barely. After a 7-0 first quarter for the Marquette Golden Eagles, Bellarmine storms back, and Marquette wins the game 11-10.
Not the prettiest one by
Not
any
at all.
means, but in the long run, just like against Cleveland State, a win is a win.
It is. Connor McClellan leads the way for Marquette with 4 goals, 2 from Holden Patterson, and Chris Kirshner had 2 as well, 1 from a couple other guys. Meanwhile, Braden Brown, 4 goals for Bellarmine, 2 from Luke Legnard, then 1 from a bunch of guys in the goal. Higginbotham had 11 goals allowed, 9 saves. Holzman, 5 saves, 10 goals allowed. Face-offs, Marquette only won 12 compared to 11 for Bellarmine. Whew.
I am surprised nobody had a heart attack.
Somebody
here
might
at
have.
Valley. So far,
Coach
it
Simmel
looks
might
like
have.
the stretcher is not in use. So far it looks okay, but there's still time.
John, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Well, what a game by Connor McClellan. I think that really is the difference maker in this one. If you don't have his steady presence, if you don't have his 4 goals, it might not be such a happy
very different
walk
game.
back to campus. Instead, he has the game that he does. You have some contributions from freshmen, but you don't necessarily have to rely on them. Cowan didn't have a goal, but he didn't need it. You get away with that, walk away with a win.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Marquette University Television. Make sure to keep it locked on our Twitter at MUWire Sports for the recap from today's game. That I'll be writing up after talking to Coach Stimmel and a couple players afterwards. So make sure to check that out and check out the package from Shane Hogan tomorrow on the Marquette University Television Twitter.
And tune in next week.
Next
we
week,
are back
Jacksonville.
on the call with Jacksonville here at the Dome.
It'll be John and I right here once again on MarquetteWire.org. So make sure, check back next week. John, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
For John Steppe, I'm Dan Abington. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.